I'm your host, Queen Evelina, and this is QEB on WQEB 97.3. Today, y'all, I'm going to be talking to seven musical genius, artist extraordinaire,
Appreciate that.
okay, coming to us all the way from Chi-Town, okay, but you live here in the Atlanta area, right?
Right, exactly. I'm glad you put it like
Okay.
that before I had to, it's I still consider, Chicago my hometown, so I always say that's where I'm from because that's where I'm from. I can't change that. But I
Right.
don't like to I like to clarify because I don't like to be one of the type of people that, try to perpetrate, you know what I'm saying, where they from, their hometown just to try to, front and seem a certain kind of way. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always going,
Yes.
represent in an authentic and the real kind of way. So I'm from Chicago, but I've been down here for a while, so it's my second home down here in the Atlanta area.
Okay.
So it's
What
cool
brought,
though.
what brought you south besides the
Well,
orange? What brought you down south?
I came down here a while ago. I came down here like when I was 18, like end of my last year of high school, basically. Like so it was towards the end of my high school year. So I came down here basically in the beginning of my adulthood, and just start trying to, I was still kind of going to school and working, trying to figure things out, but I was still that's where I first ever recorded. This is where I first ever performed and got on stage. So I had a lot of my first as far as music in Atlanta. So it's you know
Okay.
it's part of my story. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, you know what I'm saying, of where my hometown.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Now,
saying?
did you start doing music early on or when you came to Atlanta?
No, I've been writing as far as writing lyrics and rapping and writing poetry. Like I said earlier, I've been doing that since I was a small kid. So that's always been something like as far as music and being in a different kinds of music and listening to music like that and being into it like that. I've been that way like basically my whole life. I just I guess I kind of I want to say took years off of it. I just had,
Hmm.
going through, in your adulthood, you go through different things where you got to take care of business and try to get your finances and situation straight. So, it ain't necessarily putting your dreams on the back burner, but you got to deal with reality and dealing with reality. I went through my ups and downs. So I kind of took, the music kind of took a back burner for a certain amount of years, but I never let it go. I always kept writing. I always kept, into the music. I just wasn't active with it as far as trying to pursue it and make money off of it and promote myself the right way. I just now, like in the last year or two, got back into the right mind state and the right focus of putting myself out there and promote myself the right way and the proper way, taking care of the business end of the music more than and making sure I'm straight as an artist, saying before I, saying focus on, so much on the actual music. I put music out there, I got new music out there, but you know what I'm saying.
Yes, I do. I know exactly what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Music is not an easy business to break into. So, who
No,
would you
it's not.
say was your number one cheerleader when you began your journey? Who supported you more than anybody else?
I mean, it wasn't really necessarily just one person necessarily. It was just pretty much anybody
Hmm.
that heard me rap or whatever, or saying I heard about me that I was rapping, and then they finally seen it or heard it.
Right.
It was just the kind of reaction that I got from anybody that I came across. So it really wasn't just anytime that I heard somebody give me positive feedback wherever I happened to be, whoever it happened to be. It was always that kind of, it gave me that kind of spark and kind of fuel to keep going and maybe, put that in my head that I'm saying I had something with my talent. But it wasn't ever really just one person other than me believing in myself, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to, sound a certain kind of way, but a lot of times the people that's closest to you when you only have like your
Right.
closest circle and the people you grow up with, like it's commonly said,
Hmm.
they only view you a certain kind of way, so they only gonna support or, be behind
Right.
it to a certain extent. And
That's
and for a
true.
lot of artists I already know that, especially coming up, if you're not well known, a lot of artists go through that whole, kind of learning process of learning that saying that you got to branch out and really get your followers or your support, your fan base outside of your immediate circle. But I never really
That's
had a
true.
problem with that, really too much, because I'm a pretty much an outgoing person, and
Hmm.
I want to hear more. Like if I hear good feedback from this person, I want to hear more and more. So I'm not really so much. I was never really so much focused on, so my family and friends, closest people to me, being that cheerleader type of thing. I always just kind of always had to keep it in my head because I always wanted to be a solo artist. I never really wanted to be a group, so I always knew I
Part of
had
the
to motivate
songwriting thing.
myself.
Okay. Well, where was the first place that you performed in Atlanta?
It was a place. It's not. They don't. It's not around no more. But it's still Kenny's Alley down in underground in Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Like
Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
it was a place. It was a place called Blues in the Alley. And anybody
Hmm.
that's got some kind of history as far as the
Yeah.
open mic scene or whatever that was going on like years ago, whatever they heard of that place. It
Yeah.
was kind of like the whole vibe of the place was kind of like how Apache Cafe is.
Hmm.
Now,
Yeah.
well, Apache's moved now, but the old Apache Cafe, it kind of had
Yes.
the same kind of vibe as what Blues and Alley had. But that was my first place, and it was my first time on stage. It was a whole story in itself. I tell you, it was quite the story for me, because it was
Okay.
just like wow.
Right. Well, that is obviously almost about a decade ago. What do you feel has been the biggest change since the first time you hit the stage up until the last time you just hit the stage? What has really changed in music
And music in general, like
from the
not just
first
my
time you
music.
hit the stage up until now? Yeah, just music in general. What has changed?
Um, I guess it's just more. It's more people doing it. It's just what I'm saying. It was oversaturated then, but then it's even more oversaturated now. Where it's like almost everybody uses rap or uses hip hop in some kind of way as far as promotion and marketing, whatever their product is or whatever their service or their business is. People use, what I'm saying, hip hop accent and rap art. So you see everybody's doing it in some kind of form or fashion. That's really the only change is that is increased. Whatever was going on then is just increased. You got more people doing it. You got more to, as far as the kind of music that is, it's kind of pretty much the same in a way. You got more, I guess. Mm, it's pretty much the same as far as the content. Like you have you have a little bit, I guess, I don't like to put it in a negative way, but you have a little bit more less creative, I guess, or less thought out music. Not that it's not good, it's just
Uh-huh.
easier. You have a lot more, easy made
Yeah,
music,
like
you know what I'm saying,
social
nowadays.
media, right? Social media has increased the microwavability, I would call
Microwavable.
it.
That's
Yes,
the word.
music. Yes, because I remember back in the day, it used to be MySpace breaking artists, but now TikTok has become one of the number one social platforms for breaking your music. Do you TikTok?
I have. I did like a couple of them, but I haven't got into it like that, like the way that you're referring to, like using it in the way that a lot of people have, blown up off of, or got great exposure from TikTok. But I do have to get into that a little bit more. I just got to kind of find out the proper way to do it. I guess you know what I'm saying. I
Hmm.
know it's kind of easy to do, but I just haven't really figured out the idea the way I want to go about using TikTok.
Okay. Well, with some of the obstacles you face with the changes in the music, how do you keep yourself motivated?
I mean, my main motivation is just the music itself. See, I feel like I come from an era of artists that I was inspired by, and then some of them still active. It's about the love. It sounds cliche, but it's about the love of the art. It's the love of the culture. Like I don't care if I do care if I make money off of it, but whether I do or not, I'm never gonna just stop writing music or stop writing songs or whatever. I'm never gonna stop doing it because it's just a part of who I am. So
Hmm.
me, and even at this point, like I just got through telling a guy that I went to go perform last week, and he said he used to perform, he used to be into it or whatever, and this, that, and the other happened. It just kind of drew him out of it. But I was asking him like, what was you doing it for? Because that's what always in my head, like you kind of have to remind yourself of why you're doing it, and I do it because I
Hmm.
love doing it. I do it more for the the acclaim or like the adoration or the recognition from people that inspire me. Like if they were to hear my music and like my music the same way that I like their music, I do it more for that, for the culture, like to give somebody some music or give somebody something that I created and they
Yeah.
actually appreciate it in some kind of way. That kind of more or less drives me more than anything, is just being able to create something and somebody is be able to appreciate what I created. You know, the money gonna come. I feel like, so the money gonna come the better I get with my business, and the better
Okay.
the more consistent I get with my business. That's not really the only thing really ever really held me back, is not knowing how to fund what I'm doing and stay consistent, putting the money, being consistent with the money behind the push.
Hello.
You know what I'm saying? That's the main, really
Right.
the main thing. But it's a big
Okay.
obstacle. It sounds like one thing, but it's a big, a big
Yeah, a big
obstacle.
obstacle. Yeah, you're right about that. Now, do you write for other people?
Do I what now? Do I
Do
write for
you
other people?
write for others? Yeah.
No, no, I haven't written for anybody. I mean, I'm open to that, but I've never really written for anybody. Like, I've been sitting in the studio, whatever studio setting with people, and suggested certain stuff, but it ain't like, like I wrote for nobody. I ain't gonna front like
Okay.
that.
So now, if you could, anyone that's in the industry right now, who would you like to write with?
uh, wow. Let me see. Rap wise,
Rap, R
I
and
give
B.
you like a older school artist that like kind of inspired me. That's still doing stuff. As I really want to do something with Devin the Dude, to be honest with you. But like, as far as the older artists, but newer artists, I want to work with Corday. Like, he's one of the youngest young artists that like really like intrigue me, because it's like, damn, he one of the ones. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? He not
Right.
making microwavable music, and he's dope. Like, you know what I'm saying? I dig. I don't want to get the letters wrong, because I know all these young rappers, they got 3 letters before they name, and sometimes that shit means something to them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I
Right.
don't
Right.
want to get his letters wrong. I just know his
Right.
name Corday. But you know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
But no, I'm just joking. But really though. But that's 2 artists. But if I like it, it's a lot of different artists I want to work with, because I listen to different kind of music, and I want to branch out and make different kind of music, at one point, I just know it's a process to introducing yourself to
Okay.
people. People got to get used to
It
you.
is.
And
Yeah. Well, what are you working on right now?
right now I'm just promoting the 3 current songs that I put out in the last month and a half. I just put 3 songs out that's available on all platforms. One of them by the name of, it's called World on Stage. The other
Mhm.
track is called Which Way. The other track, this third track, is called Something from Nothing. And
Mhm.
all 3 tracks, like I said, they're available right now. I got other music that's available too. Like, if you if you follow me, or go to my Instagram, you just click on the link, and it'll take
Mhm.
you to straight to the page. It'll take you to all my current music that's out now. It's about 5 songs that I'm promoting right now, and I'm performing. Going like at least 2 or 3 different places a week and just performing. But right now, I'm just trying to get the visuals and the videos together for at least 1 or 2
Yeah.
other songs, and get that put on YouTube, promoted like that. But I got a couple things that I'm working on. But like I said, it's mainly me. Like, I get help where I can along the way,
Mhm.
and with people that I meet. But it's a process. Like I said, it's a process. But the pressure
Process with
is,
everything. But I mean, it
yeah.
seems to me like you're handling and carrying yourself well, because yeah, most people do start music and then they quit. You, on the other hand, you just postpone for a little bit, but now you got back into it because obviously that's your purpose, your calling.
Yeah, and and it's like I said, it's a part of something. Like, I feel like with every artist, you're never just like one way with your expression. You, like, you see now more than ever. That's one thing that's changed with the music. Just really recently, you see, I know at least 3 or 4 rappers that now want to try comedy. It's always been a rapper then turn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because that's an avenue
yes,
that I've always been told to some kind of way in entertainment since I was a little kid. Like, first I was always told, you're gonna be a comedian. You funny. Always been told I've been funny my whole life. But that's always something I've been wanting to get into. But that's another like interesting thing, because it's like people would think like, oh, you would be discouraged to try to do comedy, because people say, oh, you just doing that because Ti and this person and that person doing it, and now you trying to see like you can just wear all these hats. Like, no, it's always been something in the making. But I'm never gonna be one of those people that be like, well, I always wanted to do this now first before that. I'm never gonna do no shit like that and make you look corny as
right,
hell and shit. Like, I'm just gonna let it flow how it flow. Like, you know what I'm saying?
right.
And that's another thing that I'm gonna get into in the next, I won't say in the next couple of weeks and then this coming month. is I'm gonna, get on stage somewhere and try my hand at a couple jokes that I read and a couple jokes that I got in my head and see how it go.
Right.
But that's
I
just for
love
the,
it. I love it. I love it. Well, your
you know,
music is no joke. You might just be a funny man. I'm your host, Queen Evelina. We've just been on here talking to Seven. Y'all make sure y'all go check him out on all social media platforms. Go check
yeah.
out his music. We'll be coming
Follow me.
soon to WQEB 97.3.
Yeah, follow me
This
at
was
Seven Prominence,
mhm.
SEVE, the number seven underscore PROMINENCE. Peace, peace.
We out. Right, guys.